That's
because of the
right.
mistrust.
That's right. It's three energies that controls humanity. Obviously, love, fear, and hate. Right. So how can we see that? Well, very simple. The breed pit bull, right? Some people love pit bulls. Some people are afraid of pit bulls. Some people hate pit bulls.
That's right.
See it? So one dog can tell you the energy of the world. One breed can tell you the energy of the world. Now, the funny part is, it happens also in America where people are afraid of the pit bull or hate the pit bull because what they heard,
Right.
right?
Right. Not what
And
they've
this is
experienced, by the
this
way.
is called American pit bull. So it's hating one of your own, fearing one of your own. So where does that come from? Knowledge. Because before they're pit bulls, they are a dog. And before they are a dog, they're an animal. And before they are an animal, they're a spirit.
Their spirit.
Spirit, animal, dog, breed,
That's right.
name.
That's right.
You see it? So the breed is your race.
That's right.
So you're not just a race, or it's not the first thing you are. You're
Right.
spirit first. You're an animal, human, male, and then you're a race named Danny.
That's right.
You see what I mean? So, but people will fear Dominicans, hate Dominicans,
Yeah.
love
Dominicans.
Dominicans.
Yeah.
Mexicans. People
Yeah.
will love
Yeah.
Mexicans, fear
That's right.
Mexicans, hate
Yeah.
Mexicans.
That's right.
Right? For the breed, for
Right.
the race. So that alone tells you how the world is looking at the outside. Life is definitely simple. We make it complicated. So my goal in life right now is to make sure that I share my wisdom to the next generation. Today, we welcome a world-renowned business strategist and entrepreneur turned life coach and spiritual guide. His companies have been featured on the Inc. 500 and Inc. 5000 lists as some of the fastest growing companies in America. Host of the podcast, The Higher Self. Please welcome my Dominican brother and friend, Danny Morel. I'm going to tell the story about when I got in touch to my female side. So I was looking for a woman. I was looking for this Dominican woman that I used to date, for her to tell me that I'm the most handsome man in the world. Right? Come on, tell me you're the most beautiful woman in the world, and you have to tell me because
Yeah.
you're the one, right?
Because
So
you
I
want
know.
that yeah.
so then I go to the ceremony, and it begins to work, and then God comes and said, from all the bodies that were available, you chose that body. And I went, so you're saying that I'm the love of my life? Yes. And I began to hug and kiss myself, and like I had the most beautiful time with my body.
Yeah.
I have an amazing time with my spirit, amazing time with my instincts, and with my creative mind. But I never had a great time with my body,
Connection with your body.
with my
Yeah,
body.
yeah, yeah.
And in a female way, in a feminine way, right?
right.
Yes, I admire my body. I'm strong. I never get sick. I never been in hospitals.
Sure.
Never got surgery, nothing like that.
Sure.
But I never loved my body.
I had
Wow.
the same experience.
Jeez.
My whole life I was looking for the one, right?
Right.
And it was something that it was always like I knew I was gonna meet this person that will fulfill my heart and fall in love with me, and that I would fall in love with, and the whole thing, and anyhow, like on Instagram, I saw this woman from Colombia, because in my mind I could only be with a Latina.
Right.
Because I'm Latino. Like I
Right.
just didn't see any other paradigm.
Right.
And realistically, I probably had some sort of like inferiority complex, because of the whole minority thing, It was probably still there, right? And I hadn't dealt with it. Anyways, next thing you know, I'm about to prepare for a ceremony, and I haven't even drank the medicine, but the medicine is in my house. And I don't know if you've experienced this, just being in the vicinity of the medicine,
yeah.
things are going to start happening.
That's right.
So I go and I get to this realization in my heart where I realize I'm speaking to a psychic, and I go, she's not the one, is she? And the psychic goes to me, you say it, is she or is she not? And I go, she's not the one. And Cesar, I start shaking, and I start like, I think I'm going to pass out. So I go lay down in my bed, right? And I'm like, oh my God, because my whole head was wrapped around this notion that this was the one. I had to have this person. She looked a certain way. She was a certain way. She fit all of this criteria that I had created. And it was all in my mind, right? Yeah, exactly. Right. In the outside. And all of a sudden I go, God, please tell me. Cause I'm laying there like in despair. Like, cause I'm like about to fall apart. Like, because my whole life, Cesar, I had been waiting for the one. Even quite frankly, when I was married. When I was married, I knew that wasn't, there was something inside of me that was looking for something else, you know, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
You know,
Please do.
Yeah. And I'm laying there. And I go, okay, God, please just tell me if she's not the one, who is the one? Like, show me. Because I've been looking for this person for as long as I could remember. And sure enough, I'm laying there and I have my eyes closed because I'm going through an experience. And my hand raises like this, right? And I start going like this. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? Right? And it's like I'm pointing to God, right? And all of a sudden, it goes like this. And it wouldn't stop. And I'm start crying and crying and crying. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm the one. I'm the one I've been searching for my whole life, right? And then in that moment, Cesar, it was almost as if God says, okay, now that you get that, let me show you a glimpse. I kid you not, my body just goes like this. And I'm laying there with my arm like this, and I see the top of a head, and it's like a light brown hair. And I hear very clearly, she will finally feel safe when she's with you. And that's all they would show me. All I saw was the vision of the top of the hair. So I get up and I go, oh my God, so there is somebody, you know? Now that I know it's me, right, I can now give my love to somebody else. And sure enough, that's how like the new journey began, where I had met Jen on Instagram. I thought she was way out of my league. She's 2 inches taller. She's 5'10". She's this gorgeous blonde, right? Never in my life did I ever think that would happen. And you know, from the outside, you would think this beautiful human being, there's no way that she struggles with, you know, not feeling safe. Like she probably has every guy that she wants going after her, right?
Yeah.
And you know what? After we connected, you know what she tells me all the time?
Right.
She says, "You're my safe place.
Wow.
You're my safe place." Because I didn't know that her whole life she was also looking for someone to
feel safe.
To feel safe with, you know. And so,
yeah.
That's my version of that same story. Because it's a beautiful story, because it is a connection to wholeness, to yourself, to your center, to your dantium, to your masculine, your feminine.
That to me is extremely important, to be calm, surrender, or vulnerable. Right? Because as a Latino, we don't learn to love ourselves, right? Or how to love ourselves, or even to know the loving ourselves is step one. We Mexicano, God primero, my mother second, family third, right? Work fourth.
yeah.
Right.
And then
it should be me.
Yeah.
Right. It should be me. Right. But I have no idea.
If that's even taught to you.
That's right.
Because I had never in my life heard the words "love yourself."
That's right. Never.
I didn't even understand that as a concept.
Never.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that when you start looking for that, right? When you start looking for the love of your life, that's the beginning of you looking for, outside of you. Yeah. Right? Because people do that with dogs, right? So I'm gonna put it in the context of, I just wanna love a dog. Okay, but why do you wanna do that for? Because there's something empty inside of you that you're trying to fulfill an empty space. Because when people go and fulfill an empty space with a dog, the dog takes over. Right? So this love of their life is not a love of their life. Now it's a menace. Right? Because it's exactly the same when we're looking for...
It carries the energy.
Yeah, because when we're looking for a woman to be the love of our life, there's nothing wrong with it, but we're doing it to fulfill that empty space inside of us.
Yeah.
We start becoming extremely, because it happened to me, start becoming very dependent, right? And I became controlled by. Now, her fault is I gave it to her.
That's right.
Just like my clients give the power to the dog. So I had incredible relationship with Mother Nature, mountains, animals. Never had an amazing relationship with a woman. Ever.
You didn't know how.
I had no
Because you didn't
idea.
have an amazing relationship with yourself.
With me.
So how could you possibly have an amazing relationship with a woman, with a feminine, right? How could you possibly love her body, love her mind, love her heart, love her
Yeah.
soul if we are last?
Yeah. Then you start throwing money. You know what I mean? Well, now I have money, fame, and
that,
power.
That of course is going to fix the problem. Of course, that is because that's what you want, right? Because that's what America
Throwing all
teaches us,
this
right?
money and
Yeah.
these things, and it's nothing. It's not creating what I thought was going to be. You know, why I don't have this trust, respect, love. You know, why we're not creating new moments. Don't worry about it. You're safe. That didn't happen. Right? That's when I began to say, to learn about me. Self-knowledge, number one. Who is Cesar? Besides the dog whisperer, besides being a father, besides being a son, you know, besides being a businessman. That's this. No, who's Cesar without none of that?
That's right.
And then I went into self-value. How much do I value myself really without all of that?
If it were to all fall apart.
Zero.
Yeah.
And then obviously my self-love was absolutely in the drain. Self-knowledge, self-value, self-love, I was in 0, 0, 0, 0. You know, because I thought that everything that I was supposed to accomplish, I should. I am the only dog whisperer in the world. And I'm still not love myself. You know, I have a mountain. I have the show. I'm about to be 20 years in the air, right? So big accomplishments, right? Big accomplishment. I speak English now. I have papers, you know, big accomplishment. When all of that was away, or I'm not paying attention to that, I go and feel depressed. I try to commit suicide, right? Yes, I try to commit suicide. Lonely, fearful, angry, fight, flight, avoidance inside of me, quiet.
While you're teaching this, by the way.
Yes.
Isn't that?
Yes. Yeah. But my cop out was always it only was for dogs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's it. I'm just saying that I'm not telling people to be that way because I know I'm not doing it to myself. So I'm not teaching people to be that for themselves.
Yeah.
I'm just teaching people so they can be there for the dog. Yeah. Right? Yeah. That's it. That was my cap out. Yeah. It wasn't like completely like everywhere inside of me, with me, right? No. It's just as soon as I'm done with the dog whisper thing, and then I go and become miserable. Miserable. Like, come on. It doesn't get no worse than trying to kill yourself. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so that for me was, yes, there's something missing here. Something bigger than what I already done. Yeah. And that was it. Then that's when I started looking for me. Right? That's when I started doing the ceremonies and all of that stuff. And that really cleared the whole thing up. You know, the self-love, that was like the most, that was like the last thing I got that it really completed me. Because I got self-knowledge, Cesar Millan, okay, this is self-value. Okay, so based on that, I'm a man of value. I'm a man of honor. I'm a man of a pack, man of respect. I didn't love myself unconditionally at that time, but I'm very creative. So I got 3 of my worlds perfectly fine. The spiritual, the instinctual, and the creative world, right? The intellectual. It was missing the love. Mm. Wow, that one was delicious. Yeah. Right? The female energy, and nobody loves better than the way a woman loves. That's exactly how I wanted to love myself. That's what I was looking for. This Dominican, you have to love me because you're the size I like, you know, and the way you move and the way you dance. Yeah. It was everything. Yeah. It was everything, but it was way too much. I was putting way too much pressure. Sure. You know, and for anybody, right? So when you're asking somebody else to do it for you, they're never going to be able to accomplish it. It's impossible. Yeah. It's impossible. It's like when people trying to humanize a dog. It's impossible. A dog is not a human. Yeah. Right? A dog is a dog, and honor the species. She's a bird. She doesn't want to be a human. Right. Right? She chose to be a bird. right? And so when you're trying to make somebody else fulfill your empty spots, oh my God, it's a lot of work for those people. But once you find yourself, it's the most delicious thing I experienced. I love my spirit, like I said, I love my instincts and my mind. But once I met the love part, oof, oh my dear.
You no longer need.
I don't,
You transition into this place where you no longer need from the outside world, where you're perfectly content with everything that you have because you're everything that you really need.
and for the Latinos, my goal, why I'm so happy that you are here, because it requires for Latinos to hear other Latinos, right? Because we know our culture. The Caribbeans behave different than the Mexicans.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we have similar cultures in a way. Like God is religion is huge, culture is huge, music is huge,
let's talk about
right?
it, yeah.
Food is huge.
Yeah.
You can be poor, but as long as music and food, nobody
happy.
feels poor.
No,
You know what I mean? Like music it cures everything.
it does.
Right?
Yeah.
Comidita la comida de los pobres es la más rica.
Sí.
You know what I mean? Tiene sabor, tiene
Claro.
y the funny part is the poor people invite everybody and rich people invite very little people.
Yeah. You're right.
It's the most weird thing in the world,
You're right.
right? So everybody's very grateful.
You know what's so funny? Is that I was just telling Jen this. I said, there's something about white rice. The simplicity of white rice, that if I could have it my way, if I could just have white rice every day,
That's Peter. Peter loves white rice.
I just love white rice, and in truth, if you think of Japan, Okinawa, the Asian culture's longevity, it's such a beautiful, clean, simple calorie that your body can consume. And I thought to myself, why do I like white rice so much? Is because when we were poor, that's all we had: white rice with a fried egg on top, because we couldn't afford the meat.
Para mí son los frijoles.
Los frijoles?
Yeah. But
Como mexicano. Right?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Frijoles con queso, una tortillita, and that was it.
No, para mí era, pues también es pan con mantequilla.
Oh.
Pero es por la cultura.
Sí,
o sea,
sí,
nosotros pan con mantequilla con café.
So my point for the Latinos, that I want to bring back. So like I left Mexico, and I brought Mexico to America, right? The way we connect, communicate, and have a relationship with Mother Nature is different than the way America does.
Yeah.
Right. So, but one thing that I love about America is how much they work on themselves. It's a little too much self-oriented than pack-oriented, because I come from a more pack-oriented culture, right? To us, it's all about the pack. You can't leave nobody behind. Look, the grandparents, you will never send them to a hospice. The grandparents come into, or your parents. We don't leave nobody behind. We don't have to be military.
Yeah.
That's just who we are. So we're pack-oriented. In America, it's very self-oriented.
Yeah.
Right? And so in the self-oriented, you can heal self. And that's a beautiful thing. And that's one thing that I want to bring back into the Latinos, right? And because it's expected for us to be the pack leader, right? The direction, protection. But at the same time, we have to be a pack leader who has the right energy, so the females or the children feel safe, right? Because too strong of a pack leader, you immediately remove the safe, because now you're tense or you're angry. You're no longer confident, right? So to lead or to protect the pack we have to learn to do it with calm, confident. And the confidence comes from knowledge. It doesn't come because you have big balls or because no, it doesn't come from that. It comes because you have the knowledge. That's where it comes from, self-knowledge, right? You have to know what's your position in the pack, what's your responsibility in the pack, and then when you're going to take a break, how you're going to tell the pack that you want to take a break, right? And so to know how to do it, how to ask for things, how to communicate, versus expecting the people to read your mind, And so that's what I want, I'm not, in Latin America, they don't have as much as a dog problem psychologically as they have medical problems. They have educational problems, money problems, relationship problems. In America, they have dog problems. That to me is a luxury, that you have a dog problem, right? Because in a third world country, you can't afford to have a dog problem.
Right.
You can't.
Right.
It's other big deals problems.
Yeah, yeah.
You see it? But so the problem for me that I see in Latin America is the we still don't know ourselves. We know we're supposed to have responsibilities, but we don't know ourselves to the point that we harm our families energetically, right? We use the wrong philosophy, therefore we do the wrong actions, right? So you get to see a lot of physical contact, from the man to the woman. I saw it. I live it. I live into it, right?
As you were saying that, Cesar, what I thought one of the biggest issues is the man. As we were describing to Jen, what it's like, for a woman in Latin America. A woman is. I mean, I can remember my grandmother. She's in the kitchen, and she's supposed to feed everybody. And my grandfather can go out and be with as many women as he wants to be. And
Yep.
and by the way, the family honors him, and, like, upholds that. And I'll be honest, like, I always had an issue with that.
Yeah, me too.
I always saw it as, but this is not right. This is not right, because my poor abuelita, all she does is just like cook all day. Like, to this day, she's probably 75, 80 something years old. She's probably in there. She would not be able to sit down, because the way she shows love is through food.
That's right.
It's through food. But I think that's the issue. And the man in Latin America, even, by the way, and I know you know this, but even in, like, the spiritual community, when we talk about plant medicine, it's so unfortunate that I've heard so many stories of women in Latin America who finally want to heal, coming to a sacred ceremony, like, and you finally are ready to heal. And, we know this, you don't have to necessarily just violate a woman through touch. You can do it energetically.
Oh my God, yes.
You can do it energetically.
That's true.
And
by being dishonest.
But absolutely.
That's where we start.
Absolutely. And so many, it's always this theme that upsets me. It's like, when you think of the Latin American male, he always violates that trust with the woman.
Yeah.
And so then the secondary problem is the woman can never feel safe.
Right.
How is she ever going to feel safe is if she finally does want to work on herself, and you have these predators out there.
That's right.
It's
The energy is corrupt.
It is.
The energy is corrupt. We don't just have corrupt politicians. Well, everybody has them. It's just over there. It's so obvious they don't care, right? So it's between the cartels and especially for me, I'm from Sinaloa. So it's a cartel.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for us, it's cartels and corrupt politician. That's pretty much. And often we feel safer with the cartel than with the politician.
So true. So true. You pay your money and at least you're safe.
Yeah. And what I love, and this is what the part that I want us, every man in the world, but obviously I definitely want to bring knowledge, right, to our people, is the freedom that it feels when you are calm, comfort, love, joy, human being, male, right? Because now you hold yourself at a high level of honor, right? That's it. That's the key, right? So when you are an honorable person, you know what the rules, boundaries, and limitations are, right? So you're even a penguin man or you are a dog man, right? So if you want the pack of women, just tell them that you are a pack-oriented man.
Sure.
Don't say you're a penguin, because the penguins, once they find one, they stay with them, right? So I am more of a penguin.
Yeah.
Why? Because I grew up seeing a father having so many women and hurting my mother. So thanks to him, I learned the pain, and I don't want to repeat that.
And I want to say something. I have to honor my grandfather for that, and I have to honor his memory and his spirit, because that was his gift to me.
That's right.
The pain that I saw him. I mean, Cesar, it was to the point that, it's funny we're here in LA, but when I was 16 years old, my grandfather is now, he must have been 65, 70 years old. And there were stories of another cousin that no one wanted to discover, but that they knew he was like my age.
Right.
And I went out and I found him and I brought him to the family, and now he's a part of the family. But, when we would have quinceañeras and we would have family gatherings and we would have all of these things, is like my grandfather was honored, and I always carried this thing like, don't you guys see?
Yeah.
Don't you see what's happening
Yeah.
here? You know, I remember we would be in LA, you know, my graduation party. I'll never forget this. I had a grandmother here, a grandmother there, a grandmother there, and a grandmother there, because three of the cousins all graduated at the same time.
Right.
And each of the grandmothers and his current wife was represented, you know,
Right.
there in the
Right.
party. To his credit, everyone got along, you know. But also, once he passed away, I thanked his memory and I thanked his spirit, because I said, like, without you, I wouldn't be what I didn't know. I'm
right.
a penguin,
That's right.
you know. I'm a penguin, even though I made my mistakes,
Yeah.
but in my heart, I'm a penguin.
Yeah. One thing that I value very much is the moral code, right? So how can I say I'm a man of honor when I broke my rule number 1? How can I do that? It's impossible.
I feel like we're like a mirror, because
Yes,
what
and
you're
there's a lot of
sharing is
Latinos. They do the same
oh
thing.
yeah.
You know, so they don't have a dog problem. Latinoamérica no tiene problemas con los perros. Tiene problemas conociéndose a sí mismo,
Sí,
¿no?
claro.
Para que uno pueda tener esa energía calm, confident, love, joy. So we can have our calm, confident, love, joy.
And just to be able to express love.
Yes.
To your children, to your woman, to everything. I did the same thing. But what drove me to plant medicine was I had constructed this life where I thought, like, you know, everything I ever wanted. I had a big real estate business. We were doing so many sales, and, you know, I had the nice car and the nice house. Everything was perfect, but I was empty inside. And in truth, I was unhappy in my relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And we both were.
Right.
You know, and
Right,
we both
Right.
knew.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We both knew, but we didn't have the courage back then to be able to just say the truth.
That's right.
You know, and right.
That's simple.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
The courage to just speak the
That's
truth. Right. And Cesar, I was that guy that when all of the friends wanted to go on a trip to, like, you know, a bachelor party or a trip to Mexico or a golf trip, all of the wives would say, "Is Danny going? Because if Danny is going, then you guys can go." Because they knew that my moral compass was solid, right?
Yeah.
And they knew that I wouldn't, you know, let them, like, you know,
Right.
men are going to do what men are going to do.
That's right.
Obviously, you know, like, I was a man dealing with real emotions. I was
Yes.
a man dealing with, you know, real trapped feelings. I was a man dealing with the fact that, you know, I was wrong. I did something wrong. I quote unquote, people said, made a mistake. And yet I thought to myself, I don't know if I made a mistake. I feel like I finally expressed what was trapped inside of me for all of these years, that caused me to be inflamed. My body was 50 pounds overweight, and it's because I wasn't living my truth. So to me, it was like the key that, like, let me out of the cage,
Yeah.
so that at least I could finally start living and speaking and being my truth.
Yes.
And then I just had to deal with the consequences of all of that, obviously, and heal it all.
Yeah.
And that was a journey in and of itself.
Yes. That as you were speaking, we're elements, right? We're air, water, you know, earth and fire. At the moment that I felt that I became back to myself, I felt lighter. My relationship with the birds became extremely incredible, because I was so rock and water, right? And because I was holding a lie, right? So wind can't live with me, right? Because I'm holding a lie. So only water can hold me, only earth can hold me, but not wind, right? So at the moment I remove this lie, the birds, because I became lighter.
Wow.
So my relationship with Mother Nature, there's only 3 kinds of animals: the wind, the earth, and the water. Right? So I wanted to have a relationship with different kinds of animals, which is the wind animal, right? At the moment I removed that, the birds came.
Because this is new for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The birds came. The birds came. The dog can tolerate a lot of things, but they can't. They're flight animals.
Wow.
Right? They're flight animals. So the new animals we're getting is a zebra. And the reason why I'm getting like different kinds of animals is I'm seeing how big is my energy. Right? How pure is my energy. Right? That's why I need animals. because it tells me, it gives me the compass of who is Cesar Millan energetically speaking, and they don't know how to lie.
Right.
Right.
Right. Right.
You see, I mean, it's easy to talk to humans, and you can say things, and you can, hey, I'm gonna take the, I'm going to, the, what is it called? Hold on, because sometimes it goes in Spanish in here. The benefit of the doubt.
Sure.
They don't have benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
If they doubt you, then there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
You see, and that is all you. So the animal makes you have 100% responsibility of your life, of yourself. You are 100%. With humans, you're 50 and I'm 50.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? You take care of your energy, I'll take care of my energy.
Yeah.
With them, your energy becomes theirs. They can only reflect your energy.
Wow.
They don't rationalize. So there is no knowledge behind instincts. It's all reaction.
Yeah.
So they hold you to your most pure self. Do you have a healthy spirit? Do you have a healthy instinct? And do you have a healthy heart? Right? They don't care about how brilliant you are.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Your mind for them is just for you to remember the steps.
That's it. Yeah.
So trust, respect, love. Trust your spirit, respect your instinct, love your heart. Trust, respect, love. Yeah. So if you come with that, you have global entry. Right? That's it. That's the global entry for the animals. So the more I clean myself, the deeper is the relationship with animal. My energy is bigger than it was before. Right? Bigger. I can touch an animal at a distance. I can gain the trust at a distance. And once they're close to me, I can just become win if I want to. When before I couldn't.
Wow. I
just couldn't. I'm flexible, that's water. I'm solid, that's earth. Right? And I can kill stuff, that's fire. I was able to do the 3 elements, but I could never do the wind. And that's when I started cleaning myself and speaking and people are going to say, well, he talks about suicide. He talks about the woman. Yes, because it's important. It's important that you feel free and
just get it out.
Get it out.
We are taught to hold on to everything. This is what the ego does, right? The ego wants us to.
What is that ego?
It's
we talk about it, ego a lot.
It's the mind. It's a defense mechanism. It's a protection mechanism. What it is it wants us to live in the current state and the current paradigm that we're in, and sharing and vulnerability, right, which is feminine, is the last thing it wants. It's the battle between the mind and the heart, and so when we
the battle between the heart and the mind.
Yeah.
Okay, break it down because I got blocked right now.
Yeah.
So can you do it again?
Yeah, it's the battle between the mind and the heart. It's the battle, right?
The ego
the separation.
Creates a battle.
Yeah.
The battle. Okay.
Yeah, it's a separation between the mind and the heart. And only when a human being can be whole, right, between both, can they be free. And can they step into their true power. So what the mind does is the mind doesn't want you to share that secret. Right? Because that secret leads to vulnerability. That secret leads to truth. That truth is the truth of who you are, the truth of who we are, the truth of our existence. So it has to be kept, right? And that's what the mind thinks it's trying to protect. But in actuality, what it's doing is it's keeping you from you.
That's right. It lies to you.
That's right.
Your own mind lies to you.
I heard this once, Cesar. I heard that the ego wants nothing but to keep you like this, up against the wall. It wants to suffocate you. And this is why human beings have such a difficult time with meditation. Because the mind is constantly chittering and chattering and speaking and, doubting and worrying and thinking and wondering and what's going to happen and, trying to create safety that you can't possibly
That's right. You can't go to calm surrender.
No.
For me, the best way to do calm surrender, definitely when I listen to people, I love it. But also when I'm walking with the animals, in a second, wow. Or if I'm with a dog or an animal, immediately, because for me to do assessment and evaluation, I have to be in a calm surrender state. My body has to be calm, my mind has to be open. Yeah. That's it. Right? That's it. That's all I'm doing. So the animal will say, well, my body hurts here. Or my mind is in a fight, flight, avoidance. Like that, right? And so meditation for me is always in moving, but I'm completely calm surrender.
So you meditate while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I pray while I walk.
Wow.
And I ask for things because I have a pack of animals, right? So I'm walking with the pack and I'm praying and I'm, meditating.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking. I'm not. To me, they turn that thing off immediately.
Sure.
The plants too, of being, without shoes. It just automatically connects me to this simple world that I call natural, simple, profound.
Yeah.
Right? And immediately, so people, they have hard time sitting and meditating, just learn to walk a dog right. Because people walk dogs, but they walk a dog in front.
Mm-hmm.
So when the dog is in front and you're in the phone, you're not connecting, right? So that's not walking a dog, walking with a dog. Walking with a dog is when a dog is next to you or behind, and you focusing on going from point A to point B, and that's practically it. It's that simple, right? Homeless people do it right. Homeless people, they have dogs off leash. My clients can have a dog on a leash. They call it leash reactive, right? And the homeless, most of them, they have a pit bull, right? Off leash. The
Off
most
leash.
powerful,
Right.
most feared breed in America, homeless can walk it off leash. Why? Because they're calm, confident, moving forward.
Yeah.
And the dog is calm, surrender, following, right? Or humans who are blind, they also walk a dog right, and the dog is next to them. So the difference is the human who is blind, the dog is next to them, and the human who is homeless, the dog is behind. So I grew up seeing dogs behind my grandfather, right? And so in obedience, they have a dog, they want the dog next to you. Or a dog that is assisting, they want a dog next to you. But the key is where the dog is behind, but you can feel them.
Mm-hmm.
You can feel it. So once they connect to you, they give you an energy, right? And use that energy to pray, to think, to whatever you want, or just simply just turn it off.
Yeah.
Just give your mind a break, give your mind a vacation, turn it off. So
I got a question for you. Did you find that when you started to work with plant medicine, did you find that it even helped that even more?
oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, of course, because I didn't know that ancestor things were something that I inherit. I didn't know, I couldn't detach the sadness that my mom gave me and the anger that my father gave me, right? Because so if my mom gave me a lot of sadness and my dad gave me a lot of anger, that wasn't me, that was theirs, but I absorb it.
Yeah.
And then it's what I created. So ancestor, parents, and me.
Yeah.
Right? So with the plant medicine, you start cleaning whatever is worse. If you need to clean, if your parents are in front, they clean that up. If your ancestors are in the back of your mind, they clean it up. If the most obvious is you, right? Is the one that I'm sad, I'm tense, and this, but this one is not mine. So I realized that the sadness that I was feeling wasn't mine. That was my mom.
Mm.
And the anger that I was feeling wasn't mine. It was my father. Right? Right? So fight, flight. I got fight, flight inside of me, but that wasn't mine.
Mm.
Right? Because the animal talks to you, right? And so anger is fight. Sadness is flight. And denial is avoidance. What you want is calm surrender. Because the calm surrender takes you to happy-go-lucky, and then from happy-go-lucky, you go to calm confident. And that's it. That's all you want to be. The fight, flight is a temporary reaction. It's not for that to live with you. So we're the only species that actually live with fight, flight, avoidance inside of us. Right? The animals use fight, flight, but not to live with it. It's just to respond and then go back to calm surrender, happy-go-lucky, calm confident.
Or to protect themselves, right?
Yeah. Protect, from weather, from whatever. But it's just in that moment, and they let it go. Right?
Yeah.
So if they do some kind of fight in the moment, and then they let it go.
It's gone.
The human fight, and they holds it.
Right.
And then it teaches it. And then it passes it on.
Right.
Right? So we inherit fight, flight, avoidance inside of us.
Yeah.
So the plant medicine, obviously, as an animal, comes and takes care of the animal.
And it's sad because so many people are living, with anger, with hostility, with guilt, with shame, with resentment towards their family members.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have this society that holds on to grudges.
Mm-hmm.
Holds on to grudges to the very people that are them.
Yep.
Their blood,
Yep.
their family.
Yeah.
And they won't allow it to be let go of, and it's really a mirror for the deepest energetic resentment that they have towards themselves.
Yep.
Because when a person is whole and complete, and when a person is tapped into their heart, and when a person is, feels safe within themselves, they are safe to express what it is that they feel.
Yep.
Right? And they're safe to conversate. Mm-hmm. They're safe to address, and they're unattached.
Yes.
They're unattached with the outcome. Yeah. Right? So they're just okay. And I think that is real love.
Yeah.
When you're really in love, I say this all the time, is like, Jen is free to, if she wants to go be with someone else, I can't do it. I can't lose sleep over that. I can't do,
That's a lot of freedom.
I'm free. Now that would change the relationship a little bit.
Right.
I don't know if I would choose to want to be in that relationship, but I'm not stressed over that. I'm not going to lose sleep over that. I know who I am. And she knows who she is. And I find value in who I am. And I know she finds value in who she is. That's the glue that keeps us together.
Yeah.
It's not manipulation. It's not, this jealousy.
Yeah.
It's not this mistrust. No, the glue is knowing who you are deep inside of yourself. Knowing the value that you bring, having confidence in that, and vice versa. And then when you can attract and magnetize that other human being into your life, it's an unspoken. None of this stuff that most human beings deal with in relationship even exists.
In the dog world, it's called off-leash.
That's what it is. That's exactly what it is.
You're not on a leash.
You're not on a leash. That's exactly what it is. That's right. There's no need for a leash.
That's how I feel. That's what I was saying.
I can't believe the way you just said that. By the way,
that's how it's called off-leash. That's how I know that my relationships. That's how do I know? What can I measure? I never saw a healthy man. I never saw a healthy woman having a healthy relationship.
Neither did I, by the way.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I saw people having healthy relationship with Mother Nature, but never with his own kind.
Because of the mistrust.
That's right. There's three energies that controls humanity. Obviously, love, fear, and hate. Right. So how can we see that? Well, very simple. The breed pit bull, right? Some people love pit bulls. Some people are afraid of pit bulls. Some people hate pit bulls.
That's right.
See it? So one dog can tell you the energy of the world. One breed can tell you the energy of the world. Now, the funny part is it happens also in America, where people are afraid of the pit bull or hate the pit bull because what they heard.
Right.
Right?
Right. Not what they've experienced, by the way.
This is called American pit bull. So it's hating one of your own, fearing one of your own. So where does that come from? Knowledge. Because before they're pit bulls, they are a dog. And before they are a dog, they're an animal. And before they are an animal, they're a spirit.
They're a spirit.
Spirit, animal, dog, breed, name.
That's right.
You see it? So the breed is your race.
That's right.
So you're not just a race. It's not the first thing you are. Right. You're spirit first. You're an animal, human, male. And then you are race named Danny.
That's right.
You see what I mean? So, but people will fear Dominicans, hate Dominicans, love Dominicans.
Yeah.
Mexicans. People will love Mexicans, fear Mexicans, hate Mexicans.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? For the breed, for the race. So that alone tells you how the world is looking at the outside.
And that is, when you're talking about energy, Cesar, it's dark energy. It's the opposite of love.
Yeah.
Because it's either love or fear. When you boil it down, right? And when you can finally learn to tap into the energy of love.
Yeah.
You see the third dimension, you see this world, and you see how essentially the way I see it is this third dimension is like a maze. Mm-hmm. And separation is the thing that's keeping you from the end, right? From the way out.
Yeah.
And separation is what does that, is what says that you're a man, I'm a woman, or whatever the case may be, and you're supposed to hate or have anger towards a man.
Right.
Or, your skin is this color,
right.
Or your flag is, this flag, or you make this much money. That's the matrix. That's the system here of the 3D world, the separation. And when you live in that world, of course you're going to hate a pit bull. There's nothing wrong with the freaking pit bull. I've only owned pit bulls. They're the most loving dog there is. You know, you could take them with you. You could do the owner. This is my Cesar Millan knowledge coming in here right now. The owner, that's a different story.
Right.
So if the owner has that fear, that anger, that resentment, and then takes that on the dog and makes them fight each other, then well, then of course you're going to have a problem.
That's right.
Of course you. Same with the child.
Because I'm still having. I'm your typical Latino who hear things and still don't understand it. Okay. The energy of love. Because to be with animals, you have to have silence. And that to me is an energy on its own. And then calmness. That to me is another energy of its own, right? Because silence is deeper than calmness to me. And then you need to have the energy of, then I can bring the energy of love. Because the way I see love is a soft energy. Right? It's a very soft energy that if you give it to the animal first without silence and calmness and confidence, the animal will take over. So the animal will not really become connected just because you use the energy of love. So I see love as a separate, as como un ingrediente, like an ingredient, right? So silence to me is super powerful. Calmness, super powerful. Confidence is knowledge. Boom. And then if I don't have those three, I can't give love. Right? Because I have to protect. So I learned to protect love. So when I have the right behavior of a dog, then I give him love. You say food is love, water is love, shelter is love, my hugs are love, my words are love, especially coming from a certain vibration.
Right.
You see it? So I don't see love as the beginning with animals. I see silence, calmness, knowledge, and then I can give the love. You see, so that's what when you every time that you say love, shit, I'm doing it wrong.
No.
I'm doing it wrong because he's saying love first. It's like if you give love to a dog first, my clients are dog lovers, but what they're missing is knowledge. So if you don't have leadership, you're not gonna have loyalty. So leadership is what gives you loyalty. Love doesn't give you loyalty. My clients are dog lovers. I wouldn't have a show if love was the only ingredient or the first ingredient needed to have a connection, communication, relationship with a dog.
But is it dog lovers?
The mass majority.
And here's why I bring this up. And I'm genuinely now. I want to think about this.
Yeah.
Or is it dog needers? And here's why I say this.
Yeah.
Here's why I say this. I say this because let's just, for example's sake, I'm thinking of your typical, Hollywood, Los Angeles woman with the little dog in
the back.
In the back, right? To me, that represents energetically someone who doesn't feel safe, expressing, receiving, and giving love to a human being that feels safe giving love to this little thing that they can control, that they know is not going to go anywhere. So then is that in essence actually love, or is that coming from some sort of unhealed place?
Right. Yeah.
That causes the dog
Yeah.
to need the help, basically.
Yeah.
I tell you why I bring this up, because when I think of love, I can tell you I experienced love. I'm gonna give you two
Yes.
times. The first time was after a journey, and the medicine showed me how my entire life had been constructed around so-called helping people. That was the disguise,
Yeah.
right? Help people make more money, help people get free, help people, whatever.
Right.
That was my thing in my head. And you know what she did to me? She made me sit there in the dirt. She says, forget about everybody else. And she pointed her finger right here, and I felt like this, Cesar. I felt like this, and I stood there for 4 hours like this. Like this. I couldn't move. All I saw was the moon up there. I couldn't go to the left. I couldn't go. It was the deepest ceremony I've ever had. To sit with myself that way. I felt so low, Cesar. I felt so like the ground. I felt like below the ground, to the point that I said, I will never speak again. I how unworthy I am of even saying like what it is that I want to express to people. It was that kind of a
Oh, wow.
ceremony, right? And then the next morning I woke up, and in that lowness, I was like moping around, like, oh my God, everything that I thought was like not true. Like, you know, I was trying to help people. In reality, I was deflecting. I was deflecting from knowing myself, you know, from knowing the truth
Yes,
of who I
yes.
am. Because it's much easier to say I'm here to help you. In reality, you want them to need you. You know, you
Yes.
want them to
Yes,
feel you
yes.
because you don't even know who you are,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
So then once you finally find out who you are, right? I was feeling so low, and I stood up, Cesar, and I felt it was like this big, like a waterfall of energy coming down, where I felt for the first time God. And I stood there like this, Cesar, and I just cried and I cried and I cried and I cried, because the best way that I could describe it is it felt like everything and nothing. It was the purest thing I had ever felt in my life. It was like, and then the second time was with Jen.
Mm.
And I can honestly say there's no way that I could have ever felt that with a woman if I didn't first feel that with myself and
Right.
with God.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
It's not that I need her or she needs me. It's not that I want her or she wants me. It's not that I can't live without her. It's not any of it. It was this moment where we finally surrendered to each other. And we just laid there, Cesar, and we looked at each other's eyes, and there was no feeling.
Mm.
There was no feeling. There was just everything and nothing and peace, and it was like this. There's no way I can explain the words. It was like if the whole universe was like
So yeah.
was like this in this
Yeah, simple. It should be simple.
Simple. And so I think I lost my track of my frame of thought, but I was getting back to,
No, I felt it, because that's exactly how I feel with dogs.
that's it.
That's it. Like you know, I know what off-leash means. Off-leash means trust, respect, love. That's what it means to me,
Yeah.
right? It means to me, right? But I needed to trust myself, respect myself, love myself, right? I needed to do that,
Yeah.
you know, because I didn't love myself. I couldn't trust myself. I couldn't respect myself,
Yeah.
because I would sabotage myself constantly.
How would you do that?
What?
How would you sabotage?
The most easiest one, not exercising, for example, right? Because I love my body, and there's the temple, right? I'm very proud of my body, and at the moment I will sabotage it, I will feel bad,
Yeah.
right? Or eating, right? Or eating.
That's
I saw
me.
it on my mom.
That's me. Yeah.
I saw it on my mom. Like, she will eat just to block things, suppress, and then I will feel bad.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, man, I'm a failure. Oh my goodness, I will have conversations with me about how unauthentic I am, how all the wrong freaking things you can think of, I would just deliver a menu of
To
all to myself. To myself. But then I'm with the dogs, and then I feel free. I can take my shirt off, I can do that. I will feel freaking free. And I said, man, I didn't came to this earth just to have a relationship with animals only. I want a woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I'm 53. I want a woman.
Yeah.
Right? To have this off-leash experience.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I want.
That's
God,
it.
come on. You gave me more than what I ever thought.
Yeah.
You know, I'm the only one in the world. God, come on. I'm crying. I'm on the floor. It's like, come on, God. You gave me too much, but you haven't given me this.
Yeah.
You know, my kids are healthy. My family is healthy. I have the most beautiful mountain in the world. I did this whole entire mountain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I created the philosophy. So here I am having all this thing, all this glorious. And as one thing is missing is the feminine energy next to me.
Yeah.
I never saw it. I never felt it. Never. But how? I was freaking blocked.
Yeah.
How?
you can't receive on the outside what you don't already have on the inside.
You can.
Yeah.
So to my Latino friends and to all the men in the world and to anybody who is living in the masculine, is we have to heal the feminine as well.
Yeah.
And if you feminine is amazing, and then you have to heal the masculine in order for you to attract a dog or a human.
Yeah.
Right? Because it also works for dogs. It also works for animals.
Yeah.
Right? The energies have to be healed or have to be clean. Right? Have to be pure in order for the animal just to give you the off-leash experience, which they're born that way. Right? They're born to follow you willingly.
Right.
Willingly. You don't have to tell a dog to protect you. You don't have to tell a dog to do anything to save your life. You don't have to. You just have to lead them because it's a responsibility, if you're a man or a woman, to lead them because they don't rationalize and they live in the streets, so they don't know if they cross the streets is dangerous. So for safety purposes, leading is very important. Loving is good, but if you don't have the leadership, you don't have the loyalty, and the loyalty is what gives you the direction, everything.
Yeah.
You know, that's when the dog just dies for you. He literally dies for you, save your life, anything that you need. Your spirit needs help, your instinct needs help, your heart needs help, your mind needs help. A dog will know. You don't have to tell them. Their intuition is incredible.
You're so right.
Incredible, right? For a dog to know that seizure, you're about to have a seizure way before you know, way before a doctor knows, way before a machine knows.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So the sensitivity the animals have is something that we have. Right, and that's the part that we need to heal. And on that note, I want you to experience my animals. I want you to take a nice pack walk with my animals,
Okay.
so you can feel what I'm saying about calm, confident, love, joy.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What a great conversation, man to man.
Yeah. Okay.
Now relax the arm. This is to me the easiest way to experience your energy, right? 'Cause you're going through, like, I never had a llama before, and then whatever, and then he smells and stuff like that. All of that is just all energy switching.
Yeah.
And you get to a point, the only energy you feel is calm, confident, love, joy.
Yeah.
And the more you walk with them, you stay in that zone. That's it.
Right. And you also have to trust.
Yeah, well, that happens once you are calm, confident, love, and joy. Then everything is in it, like trust, respect, love is in it.
Yeah.
Those
I
are just
gotcha.
words, so you give a sense of direction to yourself, right?
Yeah.
They don't have words; they just have feelings
Right.
or energy.
Right.
So that's it. So
And
one bird here, one donkey here,
yeah.
right? So how can you stay so calm so they don't feel uncomfortable, right? Because normally in a natural habitat, they will never do that.
Right.
You know, a donkey will never walk with a bird,
Right.
unless the bird is eating something like a tick or a flea or something like that.
Right.
Right? But it's not as a pack walk, and especially around all the dogs and feeling so comfortable, they feel safe.
That's right.
So the concept of safety is love. The concept of trust, respect, love. The concept of connection, communication, relationship is something that we humans can achieve it with animals before we go do it with humans.
With humans.
You know.
And I think it's so beautiful that they all feel safe. You could feel it.
That's right.
You could literally feel it.
That's right.
And very like happy and in the moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
In the moment.
Yes. Mira, stop right here. So this is what I honor Mexico. That's the Mexican flag. That's the biggest one. Green, white, and red. And then the word Cultura. You see it? And that
Yep.
the bull represents courage. The flag represents passion. So have the passion and the courage to do what you want in life.
That's right.
And
That's right.
sometimes you get that from your culture.
That's right.
So for me, my land talks.
Yeah.
So every place, every single inch of the place gives me energy.
Yeah.
You see it? I designed it, I created it.
¿Qué le pasa?
Well, ¿quieres seguir caminando? Ven.
Okay.
It's moving you.
Yeah.
So it's not just the animals talk, the land talk. You know, my kids are being raised here. And you can see it. You can see it. It's the most beautiful thing once you have kids.
Yeah.
Can you share something natural, simple, profound? that they can always count on it, right? Well, what do you think? You like that little
I love it.
walk?
I love it.
Your kids would have loved that.
They would have loved it.
Right?
I have to bring them back for sure.
You have to, please do.
Yeah.
Turn them around. There you go.
Okay.
So we can. Well, it was my dream to have you here.
Ah, this has been my dream to be here.
Yeah?
Yeah, for a long time. Yeah.
I think together we can definitely bring awareness, we can bring knowledge by sharing our history, you know, like what happened to us. We're not here because we just landed here. It's just we went through a lot of things, you know.
Yeah.
We went through many things. To be vulnerable, to be calm, surrender is something that I would like for the world to begin to experience. Begin to experience it.
Yeah.
You know, because that's the beginning. Calm, surrender, or vulnerability is the beginning. Yeah. And then it's happy-go-lucky, and then it's calm, confident.
Yeah.
Everybody wants the leadership, right? But you have to master all the positions: the back of the pack, the middle of the pack, the front of the pack. So that way you have empathy, compassion for the positions. And when somebody is not there, and then you fulfill that empty space.
Yeah.
Right. So it's about to be part of the pack in a healthy way.
Yeah. Absolutely. And in order to be part of the pack, you have to start by being a part of yourself.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's new to me, right? Because I have always been there for the pack.
Yeah.
I have never been there for myself. And so I tell my kids, I'm glad that it happened to me at this age, but you can actually begin now.
Yeah.
So you don't have to wait. And so if it happened to me, I'm glad, because you are now going to wait for you to understand how to enjoy life.
Yeah.
You know how important time is. You know, time is for me is one of the most important things. Life, obviously, but time. What you do with time.
That's right.
How did you enjoy time?
Yeah.
Right. From this point on, it's just a matter of time. Right.
What can you create?
How many people can you help?
That's right.
Right. That's the beauty. And I have helped so many dogs around the world, so many people around the world, and it's time for me to help myself. And I'm very happy because you have helped me a lot through your Instagram when you say certain things. And I didn't think that way. Okay, that's the order, right? Because I'm looking for formula, ritual symbols.
Yeah.
And as a Virgo, I go for formulas. But if I can solve something with 3, I'm happy with it. Yeah. So you have helped me a lot.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm glad just to be here because it's beautiful. I wish my kids were here.
Yes. Well, bring them over.
I will.
This is the beginning of our friendship.
That's right.
All right. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. And join me on my mission of better humans, better planet.